everyone, I welcome you all to the online classes of Girls High School and College. Today we are going to study geography. The lesson that we have taken is volcanoes.
Volcanicity. Volcanicity is a process which involves the intrusion of magma in the Earth's crust or the extrusion of such molten material into the Earth's surface. This process gives rise to volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions are one of the Earth's most dramatic and violent agents of change. Not only can powerful explosive eruptions disrupt the life and property of the people, they may alter the existing features of the land surface within tens of kilometers around a volcano, drastically and cause complete destruction. However, at times volcanoes have a constructive influence on the Earth's surface and may provide a deeper insight in the interior of the Earth. The definition says a volcano is a vent or opening in the crust of the Earth connected by a conduit to an underlying magma chamber from which molten lava, volcanic gases and steam are ejected. It is usually in the form of a cone or dome according to the material ejected. Types of volcanoes. The phenomena of volcanism can be divided into two types, the intrusive and extrusive. Intrusive types of landforms occurs when lava solidifies within the Earth's crust and give rise to various shapes and forms. Whereas extrusive types of landforms, the lava comes out of the Earth's crust and solidifies into magma in various shapes and forms. Now we are going to see the intrusive forms. The most important intrusive forms includes, the first one is batholith. Batholith rocks, they are formed the bases of the mountains. They are large, coarse-grained igneous landmass which are formed after the erosion of upper lying landmass from the unweathered parts of hard rock. Then comes laccoliths. This is a large sill of acid lava which solidifies slowly, giving it a dome shape. Sills. When lava solidifies before coming out between the horizontal layers of parent rock. Dikes. When magma solidifies in vertical columns, cracks and forum of the bed rock, they are called dikes. Lapoliths. When lava solidifies in shallow basins in the shape of a saucer, it is called lapoliths. Phycoliths. These are dome-shaped and are formed when acid lava solidifies on an anticline or on the base of a syncline. Extrusive forms. How? When magma solidifies on the outer surface of the Earth, the different type of landforms that are formed in different forms, they are called extrusive forms. The first one is ash and cinder cones. These are built when eruptions are of explosive type. Growth of an ash or cinder cone begins around a crater. It is not very high. The second one is lava dome. It is formed when viscous lava solidifies quickly and forms a steep-sided cone. Lava solidifies in the spine or plug. Sometimes spine is exposed due to denudation. Lava shield. The Hawaiian volcanoes are excellent example of basalt dome or shield. For example, Mount Etna. Composite or stratocone. A stratocone is characterized by alternate sheets of lava and pyroclastic material. It experiences alternate periods of explosive quiet eruptions. Lava solidifies to form dikes. They are composed of more than one vent. The cone throws out the rock fragments and magma may escape through another vent at the same time. For example, Fujiyama, Japan, Vesuvius, Italy, Popocatépetl, Mexico, Cotopaxi, Ecuador, and Mayon, Philippines. Classification of volcanoes. Volcanoes may be classified into active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes, extinct volcanoes. Active volcanoes. Volcanoes which constantly eject lava, gases, ashes, cinder, pumic, etc. are known as active volcanoes. There are several hundred active volcanoes in the world. Most of them are in the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Island. Out of 1,500 active volcanoes, 50 or so erupt every year, spewing steam, ash, toxic gases, and lava. Mount St. Helens, USA, Stromboli and Etna, Mediterranean Sea, and Pinatubo, Philippines are some of the examples of active volcanoes. The Stromboli volcano emits so much fire that it has come to be known as the lighthouse of the Mediterranean Sea. Dormant volcanoes, a volcano which, although not extinct but not been known to erupt within historic time, is known as dormant volcano. The Vesuvius volcano is one of the best examples of dormant volcano which erupted first in 79 AD. It remained dormant for over 1500 years and then suddenly erupted with great force in 1631 AD. The subsequent eruptions occurred in 1803, 1872, 1906, 1927, 1928 and 1929. Extinct volcanoes. A volcano that erupted in the distant geological past and the remains of which occur in an area where there is no longer any active volcanicity is known as extinct volcano. The crater is filled up with water, converting it into a lake known as Crater Lake. Its volcanic form, cone, may have totally disappeared. Example, Arthur Seat, Edinburgh, Scotland. It must be assumed that a volcano which has been inactive for a large period of time is extinct and it may be an example of dormant volcano. Causes of volcanism. The volcanic eruption are closely associated with the seafloor spreading, plate tectonics, and mountain building process. The main causes of volcanism may be summarized as under. The first cause, as stated earlier, the temperature increases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius per 32 meters of descent. The main cause of this increase in temperature is the disintegration of radioactive elements deep within the earth. There is also a great pressure at a depth of 15 km. The pressure amounts to about 5 tons per square kilometer of rock. Molten magma under great pressure has the capacity to liquefy great volumes of gases. The surface water percolates through the cracks and crevices to the interior until it reaches the very hot rock, which turns it into steam, and steam, being very powerful, forces itself through the weak points of the earth's surface along with molten material. The plate tectonics, or the movement and splitting of major and minor plates of the earth, causes cracks, crevices and fissures in the earth's crust through which the magma is poured out. Circum-Pacific belt and mid-continental belt are characterized with active and violent volcanic eruptions. World distribution of volcanoes. Volcanoes generally occur in the weaker zone of the Earth's crust and are characterized by young pole mountains. Because these mountains, especially the young pole mountains that have been recently formed, and thus because of folding and faulting, that area has become a weaker section. The following are the three belts of volcanic eruption. The Circum-Pacific belt, that is also called Ring of Fire. This is the most important belt of volcanoes and is also called Ring of Fire. It extends through the Andes of South America, Central America, Mexico, the mountains of western USA, the Aleutian Islands, Kamchatka, the Kuril Islands, Sakhalin, Japan, Philippines, Celebes, New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, New Caledonia, and New Zealand. A chain of volcanoes nearly 3,200 kilometers in length can be traced through southern Alaska, the Alaska Peninsula, and Aleutian Islands, one of the most volcanic active parts of the world. One interesting island peak is Bogoslov, which appears to emerge periodically. Actually, it rises 1,500 meters from the seafloor, where its base is 13 kilometers in diameter. Mid-Atlantic Belt. This belt includes the volcanoes of Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Most of the volcanoes in this belt are of fissure eruption type. It also includes the volcanoes of Lesser Antilles, Southern Antilles, Azores, St. Helena, etc. Mid-continental belt. This belt includes the volcanoes of Alps Mountains, Mediterranean Sea, Stromboli, Vesuvius, Etna, etc. Volcanoes of Aegean Sea, Mount Ararat, Turkey, Elbrus, Hindu Kush, and the Himalayas. Effects of volcanic activity. Constructive effects of volcanic activity. Sometimes lava activity is profitable to man. For example, lava from plains are very fertile. Example in Java, Northwest Deccan and parts of Brazil. All precious stones are formed within volcanoes. For example, diamonds in South Africa and nickel deposit of Sudbury in Canada. Geysers and springs which are formed due to volcanic activity are very useful from health point of view as they contain sulfur and other useful minerals. These are important from a medical point of view also. The crater lakes serve as a great source of perennial river, for example, Lake Volcanic in South Africa. Some volcanic spots are often area of scenic beauty, hence of great tourist interest. Sometimes remnants of volcano after erosion help in preserving trace of old civilization. Destructive effects of volcanoes on man. Most of the latest volcanic areas are absolutely barren and inhabitable by man. The high porosity leads to immediate percolation and disappearance of rainwater. Thus, no human activity is possible. Volcanic eruptions are disastrous, causing complete destruction. Eruptions often force people living near volcanoes to abandon their land and houses, sometimes forever. Volcanic activity since 1700 AD has killed more than 260,000 people, destroying the entire city and forest and severely disrupted local economics for months to years. Tsunami or a tidal wave is produced as a result of volcanic eruption or earthquakes. It can cause severe damage. Undersea, underwater earthquake, volcanoes or landslides can produce a tsunami or tidal wave. This wave can travel very rapidly for thousands of miles across the ocean. In deep water, the tsunami may only raise the ocean level by a few inches, hardly enough to notice, but as it approaches land, the shallower water causes the wave to build in height to as so much as 50 feet more and suddenly flood coastal areas. Tsunami carry a lot of energy, and when they hit the coast, strong currents can cause massive erosion of the coastline as well as tearing apart buildings they encounter.
Thank you for watching, children. Stay home, stay safe.